How can your relational status point to God? Let's talk about it as we recap Irene's sermon from yesterday and bring it into application for everyday life. Well, she preached on 1 Corinthians 7, which is all about marriage, unmarried states, how to live in this world that points to another. And she focused on this verse here. In verse 35, Paul says, after saying a few things that for themselves in isolation actually sound outrageous, he says, I say this for your own benefit, not to lay any restraints upon you, but to promote good order and to secure, and here it is, here's the key, to secure your undivided devotion to the Lord. Here's the point of the whole preaching. Sometimes we can make our relational status kind of as an excuse why we cannot be more devoted to God. Oh, I have to focus on my marriage. And so that's why I cannot do this or that for God, or, give God this part. Shouldn't God be first? Now, obviously, there's a balance. And I'm not saying you should serve at church every weekend and discard your family. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that sometimes we make marriage our idol. In church, when people announce they are getting married, we erupt in joy. Like, wow, so cool. Do we do the same if somebody says, I want to stay single for God for this while? Because the point of our lives is not to be married or unmarried. Point of our lives is pointing to heaven, pointing to God. So marriage points to heaven. How? Well, there is a wedding coming with the groom Jesus and the bride the church. We are awaiting a union that surpasses the one married people know. Our lives as married people point to that event. Now, single people equally point to heaven, because Jesus says that in heaven we will no longer be married. Marriage is for this life. And yes, this life is a lot and is long, but it's not eternal. It's not I will love you forever. It's I will love you for the rest of my days here. It's a temporary marriage. And so that means that this year is training ground, and in heaven we will be singled out for God. And so our lives as single people, if you're single, point to that reality that one day God will be all for us. And any relational status will actually be consumed up in this relationship with God. What's the application? Well, undivided devotion. We can be married and still devoted to the Lord. Now, if you're married, the challenge is that if somebody hears from God, you have to follow with that person, right? You have to talk together and then figure out how is God calling us together. As a single person, you can respond a little bit faster, but the challenge remains the same. Can you be undivided in your attention, in your devotion to God? Let's not make our relationship status as an excuse that we cannot serve God. I'm married to the wrong person. You don't know. I cannot do whatever, God has called me to do. Mm. God has called you to be together with this person as long as you've committed in the covenant of marriage to stay together. And therefore, God has a way for this. I cannot serve God because I'm single. I cannot, like that. Mm, I would venture to say that Jesus was single, Paul was single. A lot of people in the Bible actually stayed and were single and were the most productive and brought all of this to us. So how should we discard ourselves? We should not. Like, God wants to use all of us. And that is the great news, that in this life, we're pointing to heaven and our relationship is made for God. By the way, this Saturday, we are opening our second location. There's a short open celebration. Times are below in the comment section or in the description of the video. And if you want to join us, then please let us know by using the email provided below. Would love for you to be there. And from then on, training time starts for the C3 South team. And our first service is going to be on the 25th of December, 2025. God bless you guys. Bye bye.